Ooh. Hey, boom! Welcome to Chillin Tuesday here at the Seahorse Medicine Cafe at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame on Thundercloud. Washing away the garbage, leaving rainbows after rains. Let's have some fun and linguistic games. All right, what have I got for you tonight? Oh, well, I've got a bit of a cold. I'm a bit stuffed up in my nose, so I probably won't be reading that long. But all the same, I've got a lovely selection of what I've selected. Oh look, I thought I'd start. We've got most of these poets that I've got actually all of them. They're 20th century poets of Australia. And a few of them even left Australia. All right, well, the first one I'm going to do, she only died recently. That'd be Barry Humphries. And I'm going to do a Dame Edna Everidge poem. It's out of this book here, Dame Edna's Bedside Companion, published by Corgi Books in 1982. Yeah. All right, so this is called Vespers, and I'll try and do my best Dame Edna voice. Vespers. Hello, darlings. Oh, do you like my purple hair? Or something like that. Megastar kneels at the foot of the bed, drops on the Santos watch, wisteria head. Hush, hush, whisper who dares. Dame Edna Everidge is saying her prayers. God bless Madge, I'm feeling woozy. Wasn't it fun in the new jacuzzi? Romping around in the bubbling water. Oh, God bless Valmay, my problem daughter. The nightie I'm kneeling on looks rather naff, but Kenny, my son's huddled over his faff, running me up some spunky numbers. God bless Kenny and his slumbers while he slumbers. Although he's artistic, he's a red-blooded male, and so is his flatmate, Clifford Smale. They've hit it off so well together since Cliff won his title, Mr. Leather. Oh, thank you, Dame Nature, for all you've done for Bruce, my middle management son, and thanks for the gladdy which sprouts from the corn, and oh, I've nearly forgot to say, God bless Norm. Megastar kneels at the foot of the bed, prays for the creature she long ago wed. If you would interrupt her, then kindly refrain. Dame Edna is thinking of others again. There you go. Dame Edna Everidge. I'd probably do a better voice if I wasn't so stuffed up with a cold. Yeah, but anyway. Now, so yeah, Barry Humphries left Australia and made his way to England. Probably around about the same time as this next person I'm going to read out. This will be Clive James. He was born Vivian Leopold James, and he must have changed his name to Clive, okay, in the 7th of October 1939, and he passed away on the 24th of November 2019. He was an Australian critic, journalist, broadcaster, writer and lyricist, and he lived and worked in the United Kingdom from 1962 until his death in 2019. He made his career specialising in literary criticism and becoming a television critic for The Observer in 1972, where he made his name with his wry, deadpan humour. Yes, right. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be reading to you tonight. I've got one here from Clive James' Passport, Clive James' Other Passports, Poems 1858 to 1958 to 1985. All right, the first one I've got marked here, bookmark with an Australian Poetry Hall of Fame bookmark available here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. Yes, yeah, they're only $1. Like, that's cheap. It's actually, no, that's not cheap. That's they're good value. Good value. Yeah. Or I'll put the price up if you think it's cheap. Yeah. And as well as other merchandise, you can get t-shirts, you can get these Australian Poetry Hall of Fame mugs as well. Alright, and if you're liking Chillin Tuesday here, don't forget to give this a thumbs up and leave a comment and tell me who you'd like me to read out, because I've got so many Australian poets and poetry books here. Yes, there are just heaps, and I will never run out of poetry to read to you. Alright, this one, Clive James, As I See You. As I see you, crystals grow, leaves chime, roses flow. As I touch you, tables turn, towers lean, witches burn. As I leave you, lenses shiver, flags fall, snow's over. As I See You by Clive James. A little short one there to begin with. Okay, the next one that I've got for you. Barrowa Waters, New South Wales. The seas of the moon are white on white towards evening. Kingfisher strikes head out on the deck for the trees. Veils of tulle are drawn by the dragonflies, the tree tops shudder to silence like coins set spinning. Fire ships of Cyrus assemble and ride in on the west. Tracksuit trousers go on and a second sweater, baiting for low-level fishes like writing a letter to someone whose last name you caught but whose first name you missed. The sun goes over the hill with the whole day's flames. The bottles fluoresce going down like silver spiders. The old astronomers' animals graze the field of stars. The guttering Cyrus drops on the tide to the sea of dreams. Okay, and the last one I'm going to do with Clive James here. The Crying Need for Snow. It's cold without the softness of a fall of snow to give these scenes a common bond. And though besotted on a vineless rhyme, the ducks can do their standing on the pond. Routine that leaves you howling all in all. We need some snow to hush the whole thing up. The ducks can do their flat-foot waterfall, fool, mad act that leaves you helpless but in fine. We need their footprints in a higher field, made pure powder by their wigwag line of little kites pressed in around the pool. An afternoon of snow should cover that. Some crystalline precipitate should throw its multifarious weightlessness around for half a day and paint the whole place out. Bring back a soft regime to bitter ground. An instant plebiscite would vote for snow. So overwhelmingly, if we could call it now. An afternoon of snow should cover that. Milk bottle, neck, bolt upright in the slime. Fast frozen at the pond's edge, brutal there. We need to see the junk muffled, white-washed grime. Lean, brittle ice grown comfortably fat. A world prepared to take our footprints in. A world prepared to take our footprints in needs painting out, needs be a finer field to overwhelmingly, if we could call it now, the fluffy stuff would prime it, would yield. To lighter step, be webbed and towed and healed, pushed, flat, smoothed off, high, heaped, pitched anyhow, yet be inviolable, put like that. Gently, the cold makes sense. Snow links things up. And that's a couple from Clive James there. Rightio. Now the next one I've got for you is a couple of Les Murray poems. Now, just like Clive James died in 2019, so did Les Murray. Clive James died in November 2019, Les Murray in April 2019. He was born in the 17th of October 1938. He passed on the 29th of April 2019. He was an Australian poet, anthologist and critic. His career spanned over 40 years and he published nearly 30 volumes of poetry, as well as 2 verse novels and collections of his prose writings. Probably his most famous poem is An Absolutely Ordinary Rainbow. So I think that's the name of it, but that's not what I'm reading out to you tonight. I've got a couple here that I've selected. The Shaman Drum by Les Murray. What year was the very best Mallee show? When Lord hoped and attended. That bottled year. When Skewthorpe danced his horse for some peer. Or Lord Brassica, or was it Bracy? And Sunshine Harvesters turned into Macy. No. What year? I need to hear. When the Wallet Pipe Band piped music and rum, and Jim Sharman's pugs beat the step-up drum. Just as the departures began recording and the ladies dressed up in their skills and tone, or dressed for each other or themselves alone. When the ticket strung through the tweedy eye of each member's lapel meant pedigree. What year? What year? It was every year. After the last, they made a past, the ring events, the Wyandotte hens. What year was the greatest Mallee show? When Warwick Nabil yachts sailed on Lake Glue. Bagging needles flew and girth straps strained. The best show was any year it rained. Okay. And the other one that I've got for you, really little one. Croc. This police car with checkered seam of blue and white teeth along its side lies in cover like a long-jawed flat dog beside the traffic stream. Croc, that's good. Yeah. Croc. All right. Now, I'm moving right along. Now, during, as I mentioned over the last couple of weeks, I went down there to the Rotary Book Fair in Armidale, picked up a heap of poetry books. One that happened upon to fall into my hands was this one here, Kernai Poems, or Kernai Gunai Warwick, written and translated by Amelia Angove. It's a publication that was sent to the New England Writers' Centre, and obviously there's a few of them I've found out there, they didn't want them, and so they've sent them off to the Rotary Book Fair, and I've come across them for the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. Well, what's special about this is there was only 200 copies of this one made, and this is copy 41. So these are all, I got a whole lot of these, limited editions. Now, they're also limited because they were published in the 1990s, by Ngove Press in Ensay or near Bairnsdale Way in Victoria, South or Gippsland, East Gippsland. Yeah. Now I'm going to read you the introduction, and I'm not going to read a lot out of these because I'm not. I'm only reading these for the case of critical analysis and review, so that I'm not breaching copyright. But I can read the introduction. The following poems have been written in English and then translated into Kurnai. The Kurnai language was unique to Gippsland region, where formerly it was spoken for over 15,000 years. To me, the use of Kurnai gives an ultimate expression of locality. It's not an attempt to appropriate, abuse or exploit Aboriginal culture, as with previous booklets. Much of the content on local Aboriginal history. While the Kurnai is a dead Moravian language, these brief poems may act as a catalyst to stimulate interest in it. In both content and translation, the poem remains highly sympathetic to the Aboriginal cause. That's the other bit I'm going to read out there of this book. So I sort of found this book in my pile of books. And then I'm like looking at the press, the publishing company, Ngove Press, and I'm like, and I did a bit of a Google search, etc., and I ended up coming across the publisher. Now, a lovely man, his name is Peter Gardner. He's been caring, a bit of an environmentalist, caring for the environment of South. Of Gippsland there, and publishing these books anyway. So Peter, when I did contact him, was so much stoked that this one was going into the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame, Poetry Library and Archive. I actually asked him, do you have any other copies of any other Amelia Angove books? And he sent me all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I've got 6 books plus some PDFs. So of like a lot of Amelia Angove's work, which there was only ever 200 copies published. To have at least one copy of most of them here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame is pretty damn awesome. So if you've got any books by Angove or Amelia Angove, or any special poetry books that you can't take with you to your grave, that's true. You can send them here to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame, 144 Bradley Street, Guyra, and we are more than happy to take donations of poetry books, or any books for that matter, but poetry books especially, because we old, new, your poetry book if you've just published one too, or collections of poetry, or poetry books that you find in op shops or old bookstores, because that's the idea of having the Australian Poetry Library here. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be able to read these books out to you tonight. Right, let's move on. Kurnai poems, or in Kurnai language, Gunai Wark. Okay, now I'm not going to read a lot. I'm only going to do, on this first one, I'm going to do the page 1, so I'm not breaching any copyright here. And this is purely for critique and review. In that way, I'm not breaching copyright, right? 1. From Malakuta to Wilson's Promontory, from the mountains to the sea, this is the land of the Kurnai. Mangan Malagura, Mula Yerok, Mangan Bulga, Mula Wari, Dindan Mal, Wukan Bikani. Long ago, the pelican and the musk duck flew over the mountains. They came here as the parents of the Kurnai people. Mulbithunga, Burun Batatuk, Bulutha, Wati Bulga, Mantha, Baji Mul, Buth Mungan Batayakan Bakani. 3. Since the time of the pelican and the musk duck, Gippsland has belonged to the Kurnai people. This is our land. Milbathunga Baburan Bathatuk Wuray Yilwakan Nindi Tanakani Dindan Mawakan. Yesterday, a white man raped our mothers and sisters, stole our land. Today's talk will not write these deeds. Pijingur Wongo Loan Jugugandan Nindi Thunnal Yukanil Karajang Tawatan Jat Nindi Thunan Warak Chili Badaba Thunganda Thung. So that's Kurnai poems translated from the Kurnai language into English as well by Amelia Ashgrove. Okay, the next one I've got from Amelia here. I got so many props from Amelia. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you, Peter Gardner actually. All right, she's got the Mountain Gung number 22, the Tao of the 21st century, love songs, the Tao and Mountain Gong, and Tao of modern times. Yeah, so I'm going to start with the Tao of modern times. With apologies to Lao Tzu, Thoreau and Kropotkin. 1. Though the Tao knows it can never sanction murder of, for, or by the people. 2. A politician who can read the Times will be safely embossed in South America or Switzerland. 3. When people avoid their taxes, politicians take heed. 4. When the people protest in the streets, governments will be in disarray. Okay, so the Tao of Modern Times, again by Amelia Angove. Oh, here we go. This is one I selected from Tao, the love songs, the Tao in the Morning, Mountain Gung. 1. The wind bends the grasses and bracken, on blow hard, slowly but restlessly. I pace through the dreams of my desire. 2. Reality is the warming northward wind, the hazy days of fading summer, the slithering sounds of willow trees, all that exists now, all that was ever done. The whole ether of existence is bound by our words and deeds, by all the songs we've sung. 3. Today I am drawn. Tomorrow's hopes are a distant flicker of light, but vacuums do not exist in nature as the currawongs swoop down from the mountain. Yep, so that's Love Songs, the Tao and Mount Nagong by Amelia Angove, and that one was published again by Nagarak Press in 1990. Right, another one. The Tao of the 20th Century, also by Amelia Angove, and I've got one picked out here. I've got it marked already for you. Tao of the 20th century. 1. Bureaucracy and creativity are not handmaidens, they are deadly enemies. 2. Some definitions are self-explanatory. Thus, someone who always works will leave much unfinished. Oh, pardon me. Oh, anything that moves is a close relative. Anything that grows is a cousin once removed. Here we go. 5. Shout out in anger. Fuck the tax man. That's a quick poem, that one. 6. God is only good works, and good works is God. 7. You are slowly changing from an angry young man into an angry old one. 8. All but genius is a small increment on the work of others. That is known as adding to knowledge. And last of all, Mountain Agong, I've got for you from Amelia Angove. This is called Emotions. Emotions. How I hate them. The generals, presidents, PR men, military experts, and all others, self-appointed strategists, prophets, tyrants, tin gods, all anal repressed, power-hungry, manipulating, exploiting men, all obsessed with high-tech accuracy, control, clean kills, all murderers of the people. Alright, well, we've come to the end of the show for the night, and I'm all read out. I'm falling asleep, I'm tired, I am under the weather because I've got a bit of a cold. So thank you very much for joining me, listening to me reading tonight's Wednesday, Chillin Tuesday for the 6th of the 6th, 2023. Yes, it's the 6th of June. So I'm Thundercloud. We'll see you tomorrow night, same place, same YouTube channel, Wednesday Words. Hey, take care. Lots of love, lots and lots of love, and I'll see you later. Boom.